Ladies and gentlemen, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Have you ever looked at the clock and thought to yourself, where has the time gone? Perhaps it was a year that slipped by in the blink of an eye, or maybe a decade you barely noticed until one day you realized you were standing in the same place you were before. Time, my friends, is the most precious commodity we have, and yet it's the one thing so many of us squander without a second thought. Today, I want to talk to you about why you mustn't waste your life, because every moment matters, and the time to act is now. Let's begin with a simple yet profound question. Why are you here? Not just in this room or listening to this message, but here in life. What is your purpose? You see, life isn't a rehearsal. It's the real deal. Every day you wake up, you're spending a currency that you can never get back your time. And the greatest tragedy isn't in spending it, it's in wasting it. The value of time. Imagine for a moment that you were given a bank account and every morning it was credited with $86,400. The only catch, at the end of the day, whatever you didn't spend would disappear, gone forever. You can't save it for tomorrow, you must use it today. Sounds like an incredible opportunity, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what you're given every single day. Except the currency isn't dollars, it's seconds. You and I are each gifted 86,400 seconds every day. And how we choose to use them determines the course of our lives. Will you invest them wisely, or will you fritter them away as so many people do on distractions and trivial pursuits? You see, the difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck in mediocrity isn't talent, luck, or intelligence, it's how they spend their time. The illusion of abundance. Here's the problem. Most people live as though they have all the time in the world. They say, I'll get to it tomorrow, or there's always next year. But let me tell you something hard to hear. There's no guarantee of tomorrow. Life is fragile, and time is fleeting. Waiting for the right time or the perfect moment is the fastest way to let your life slip through your fingers. Think about it. How often have you postponed your dreams because you thought you weren't ready? How many times have you said, I'll start when the timing is better, only to find yourself in the exact same place a year later? Procrastination isn't just a thief of time, it's a thief of life. Let me share a story. Years ago, I met a man who had spent his entire life working a job he despised. When I asked him why he didn't pursue something he was passionate about, he said, I always thought I'd have time, but now, in his later years, he was filled with regret. He had money, yes, but no joy, no fulfillment. He told me with tears in his eyes, if I could go back, I'd trade every dollar I have just for one more chance to live my life differently. That man's story is a cautionary tale for all of us. Don't wait until it's too late to realize that time is your most valuable asset. So, how do we avoid this fate? By understanding the urgency of now. The truth is, your life isn't going to wait for you to figure it out. The opportunities you have today might not be there tomorrow. The relationships you cherish won't last forever unless you nurture them. And the dreams you hold in your heart will fade if you don't take action. You might think, I'll start next week, or I'll wait until I feel ready, but let me tell you something, you will never feel completely ready. The stars will never align perfectly. Conditions will never be ideal. That's why you must begin where you are, with what you have right now. Let this be your wake-up call. If you're not living the life you want, it's time to ask yourself why. If you're not pursuing your dreams, it's time to take that first step. Don't wait for life to hand you an opportunity, create one. Don't wait for someone to save you, save yourself. Remember, the clock is ticking. Every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. And the saddest words in the English language are if only. So my friends, don't let if only become the story of your life. Decide today to live with intention, purpose, and urgency. Because the time to act is not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Time, it's the great equalizer. No matter who you are, rich or poor, young or old, you have the same 24 hours in a day. The question is, how are you using yours? Are you harnessing the power of time to move toward your goals, or are you letting it slip through your fingers like sand through an hourglass? You see, time is the one resource that once spent can never be recovered. Money lost can be earned again. Opportunities missed might circle back in a different form. But the seconds, minutes, and hours you waste, they're gone forever. That's why understanding the power of time is crucial to living a life of purpose and achievement. When I was young, I thought of time as something infinite. It stretched out before me like a vast ocean, and I believed I had all the time in the world to do what I wanted. But life has a way of teaching you hard lessons, and one of the greatest lessons I've learned is this time is your most valuable asset, and it's slipping away every moment. Think of it like this: every day you wake up, you're spending from your time account. The balance in that account decreases with every passing moment. and the balance is not infinite. None of us know how much time we have left, which makes it even more precious. Let's talk about a concept that changed my life: the compound effect of time. Just as money, when invested wisely, grows over time through compound interest, so does the impact of your actions. Small, consistent efforts made every day can lead to extraordinary results over time. Take, for example, a person who reads for 30 minutes a day. At first glance, 30 minutes might not seem like much. But over the course of a year, that's more than 180 hours spent improving their knowledge. Multiply that by a decade, and you have a wealth of wisdom that could transform a life. Now contrast that with someone who spends those same 30 minutes scrolling through social media or watching television. At the end of the year, they had little to show for it. The difference isn't in the amount of time they had, it's in how they chose to use it. Let me share a story about a man named Michael. Michael was an average guy working a 9-to-5 job and dreaming of a better life. He didn't have a lot of resources, but he did have time. Every evening, instead of wasting hours on entertainment, Michael spent 1 hour learning new skills. Some days he read books, other days he took online courses. At first, nothing seemed to change, but after a year he had developed a new set of skills that allowed him to transition into a higher-paying career. 5 years later, Michael was running his own business, a business built on the foundation of those small, consistent actions. What seemed like insignificant efforts at the time compounded into a life of success and fulfillment. The moral of the story is simple: how you spend your time today will determine the quality of your life tomorrow. But what happens when you don't use your time wisely? Let me tell you, it's not just time you lose. You lose opportunities. You lose growth. You lose the chance to become the person you were meant to be. Consider the average person who spends hours each day on mindless distractions, watching TV, scrolling on their phone, or indulging in habits that add no value to their life. Over the course of a year, those hours add up to hundreds, even thousands of wasted moments. Imagine what they could have accomplished if even a fraction of that time had been spent pursuing their goals or improving themselves. The truth is, wasting time is like a slow leak in a boat. At first, it might not seem like a big deal, but over time, it will sink you. So how do you change your relationship with time? First, you must become aware of how you're spending it. Take an honest inventory of your day. How much time are you investing in activities that move you closer to your goals? How much are you wasting on things that don't matter? Next, prioritize. Focus on the activities that have the highest impact on your life. Learn to say no to distractions and yes to the things that truly matter. Remember, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that could change your life. As we close this part of our journey, I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing with the time you've been given? Are you spending it in ways that bring you closer to your dreams? Or are you letting it slip away on things that don't matter? The power of time is immense. It's the great equalizer, the one resource we all share. And how you use it will define your life, so don't waste another moment. Start investing your time wisely today, because the future you want is built on the choices you make right now. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you failed? Think back to that moment. What did it feel like? Was it painful, embarrassing, even humiliating? Most people fear failure so much that they avoid taking risks altogether. But here's the truth: many people never realize failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone toward it. In fact, every great success story you've ever heard includes chapters of failure. The problem isn't failing, the problem is refusing to learn from it. Today we're going to talk about how to embrace failure, reframe setbacks, and turn them into opportunities for growth. Imagine you're an archer shooting arrows at a target. Each time you miss the bullseye, you learn something. Maybe your aim was off, your stance was wrong, or the wind affected your shot. Each miss gives you feedback, and over time, that feedback helps you adjust, refine, and improve. Life works the same way. Every failure you experience is simply feedback, a signal that something needs to be adjusted. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, learn to see it as a guidepost, pointing you in the direction of growth. But why do so many people fear failure? It's because we've been conditioned to see it as something negative. From a young age, we're taught to avoid mistakes, to aim for perfection, and to fear judgment from others. As a result, we play it safe. We stick to what's comfortable and familiar, even if it means living a life far below our potential. Here's what I want you to remember: the people who judge you for failing are often the ones too afraid to try. Don't let their opinions hold you back. You're not here to impress anyone, you're here to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. And growth requires failure. Let me share a story. There was a young woman named Rachel who dreamed of starting her own business. She had a vision, a plan, and a burning desire to succeed. But when she launched her first venture, it failed miserably. She lost money, her confidence was shattered, and people around her said, maybe this isn't for you. Rachel could have given up, but she didn't. Instead, she analyzed what went wrong. She realized she had rushed into the business without fully understanding her market. She went back to the drawing board, studied her industry, and tried again. This time, she was better prepared, and her second venture was a moderate success. By the time she launched her third business, she had learned enough from her failures to create something extraordinary. Today, Rachel runs a multi-million-dollar company. When asked about her success, she says, I wouldn't be here without my failures. They were my greatest teachers. The lesson here is simple. Failure isn't final unless you quit. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. So how do you reframe failure? Start by changing the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, I failed, say I learned. Instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, think I'm getting better. Your mindset is the key to turning setbacks into stepping stones. Next, embrace the process. Understand that failure is a natural part of any journey worth taking. Whether you're learning a new skill, building a business, or pursuing a dream, there will be moments when you stumble. Accept these moments as part of the process, not as a reflection of your worth. Think of failure as the price of admission to the growth zone. When you stay in your comfort zone, you avoid failure, but you also avoid growth. It's only when you push yourself to try new things, take risks, and face challenges that you truly grow. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's scary. But the discomfort of growth is far better than the regret of stagnation. So I want to challenge you today, don't fear failure, welcome it. See it as a necessary part of your journey. Learn from it, grow through it, and use it to fuel your progress. The only real failure is refusing to try. Everything else is a lesson, a stepping stone, a building block for the life you're creating. As we move forward, I encourage you to reflect on your relationship with failure. Have you been avoiding it? Have you let it define you? Or are you ready to embrace it as a powerful tool for growth? If I asked you to name your greatest asset, what would you say? Your home? Your car? Perhaps your savings account? While those things have value, they pale in comparison to your true greatest asset, yourself. The most important investment you will ever make isn't in stocks or real estate, it's in your own growth and development. When you invest in yourself, the returns are limitless. But sadly, many people neglect this critical area. They spend money on things that depreciate but hesitate when it comes to improving their mind, body, or skills. Today, I want to talk about why investing in yourself is the key to unlocking your potential and how you can start doing it today. Imagine building a house. The strength of that house depends on its foundation. If the foundation is weak, the entire structure is at risk, no matter how beautiful it looks on the surface. Your life works the same way. Investing in yourself is like building a solid foundation. It's what allows you to weather the storms of life and reach for greater heights. When you invest in yourself, you're not just improving one area of your life. You're creating a ripple effect. Better skills lead to better opportunities. Better health leads to more energy and focus. Greater knowledge leads to better decision-making. It all starts with you. But here's the thing, most people spend more time maintaining their car than they do their mind. Why is that? It's because the returns on investing in yourself aren't always immediate. You don't see the results overnight, so it's easy to put it off. And let's face it, there's always something else demanding your attention. Bills to pay, errands to run, obligations to meet. But the truth is, if you don't prioritize yourself, no one else will. Let me tell you about a man named David. David was a hard-working man who spent years struggling to make ends meet. He worked long hours but never seemed to get ahead. One day, a mentor asked him a question that changed his life. David, what are you doing to grow? At first, David didn't understand. He thought working harder was the answer. But his mentor explained that success isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter. And to work smarter, you need to grow. David took that advice to heart. He started small, reading books, attending workshops, and learning new skills. Over time, he noticed a change. He became more confident, more knowledgeable, and more capable. Within a few years, David had transformed his life. He wasn't just making ends meet, he was thriving. From ways to invest in yourself. So how can you start investing in yourself? Here are some practical ways. 1. Learn continuously, read books, take courses, and seek knowledge in your field. Remember, formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. 2. Prioritize your health. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. Exercise regularly, eat nutritious food, and get enough rest. A healthy body supports a sharp mind. 3. Master your mindset, your thoughts shape your reality. Practice gratitude, set positive intentions, and surround yourself with people who uplift you. 4. Develop your skills, whether it's communication, leadership, or a technical skill. Improving your abilities will open doors you never imagined. 5. Save and invest wisely. Financial education is a crucial part of personal growth. Learn to manage your money so it works for you, not against you. The power of self-investment. Here's the beauty of investing in yourself: the returns are exponential. A single book can spark an idea that changes your career. A new skill can lead to opportunities you never thought possible. Improving your health can give you the energy to pursue your dreams. Every effort you make to better yourself compounds over time, creating a life that exceeds your expectations. But let's flip the coin. What's the cost of not investing in yourself? It's the cost of missed opportunities, unfulfilled potential, and a life of mediocrity. When you neglect yourself, you limit your growth and your ability to make an impact. Think about it: if you're not improving, you're stagnating. And stagnation is the enemy of progress. So I challenge you today: make the decision to invest in yourself. Not tomorrow, not next week, today, because every moment you spend improving yourself is an investment in your future. And the best part, it's never too late to start. Remember, you are your greatest asset. Take care of yourself, nurture your potential, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. You've heard it before: success is built on discipline, but what does that really mean? You see, discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. It's about aligning your actions with your values, goals, and purpose. It's about making the right choices day in and day out, even when the temptation to take shortcuts or procrastinate is strong. Consistency, on the other hand, is the power that turns discipline into results. You can't expect to achieve your dreams by doing something great once and then slacking off for the next month. True success is built on the foundation of daily, consistent action. So let's dive into how discipline and consistency can transform your life and help you build a life of purpose. The power of small, consistent actions. I want you to think of a river. Over time, a small stream of water can carve through rock and shape the landscape. It's not the strength of the water that does it, it's the consistency. Day after day, the water flows steadily and persistently, and over time, it creates incredible change. Your life is like that river. Every action you take, no matter how small, is shaping your future. The key is consistency. If you do the right things every day, you will eventually see results, just like the river carving its path through rock. There's a dangerous myth that success happens overnight. We see someone achieve incredible success and we think it happened in a flash. We don't see the countless hours of effort, the struggles, the failures, or the discipline behind the scenes. What we see is the result, and we mistakenly believe it came quickly. But the truth is, overnight success is an illusion. Every successful person you admire has put in years of consistent work to get to where they are today. They've spent countless hours honing their skills, overcoming obstacles, and making decisions that align with their goals. The key to success is gradual progress. You might not see immediate results, but if you stay disciplined and consistent, the results will come. Over time, your actions will compound, and you'll find yourself much further along than you ever imagined. Let me tell you a story about a man named John. John was always full of ideas. He had dreams, he had plans, but he struggled with one thing: consistency. Every time he set a goal, he would work hard for a few days or weeks, but then he'd get distracted. He'd lose motivation, and eventually he'd give up on his dream. But one day, John had a breakthrough. He realized that his problem wasn't a lack of ideas or even a lack of motivation, it was his lack of discipline. He was treating his dreams like a hobby, not a commitment. So John made a decision: from that day forward, he would commit to consistent action. Instead of working in bursts, he started doing something every single day, no matter how small. He set aside time each morning to work on his goals. Some days it was just a few minutes, other days it was hours. But he never stopped. And over time, that consistency paid off. Slowly but surely, John's life started to change. His small daily efforts led to big results. Today, John runs a successful business, and he credits his discipline and consistency for his success. Discipline turns dreams into reality. One of the hardest parts of discipline is learning to say no. We live in a world full of distractions, and it's easy to get sidetracked by things that don't align with our goals. Social media, procrastination, unhealthy habits, they can all steal your time and energy. But successful people understand the power of saying no. They protect their time like it's their most valuable asset, because it is. And the more you say no to distractions, the more you can say yes to what truly matters. The more you say no to things that don't serve your goals, the more room you create for the things that do. I want you to think about a skill you've always wanted to master, whether it's playing the guitar, learning a new language, or becoming a better communicator. Now think about this, you'll never master that skill by practicing once in a while. Consistency is the key to mastery. When you practice consistently, even in small doses, you make steady progress. It's the same with any goal. It's not about having one or two big bursts of effort. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and continuing to improve. The great ones didn't become great by doing extraordinary things every once in a while. They became great by doing ordinary things consistently, day in and day out. Another crucial element of discipline and consistency is focus. When you focus on one thing at a time, you give it your full attention, energy, and resources. This focused effort leads to deeper mastery and greater success. But when you try to do everything at once, when you're scattered and unfocused, you end up making little progress in all areas and none of them truly move forward. Focus allows you to be more productive, more efficient, and more successful. So how does discipline and consistency lead to a life of purpose? It's simple. When you commit to consistent action, you're creating a life that aligns with your values and goals. You're building something meaningful step by step, day by day. Purpose doesn't come from making big leaps every so often. It comes from making small, intentional decisions every day. And when you look back at your life, you'll realize that those small decisions, made with discipline and consistency, are what shaped your destiny. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what small actions can I commit to today? It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's reading for 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's working on a project for an hour every morning. Maybe it's saying no to distractions and focusing on what matters most. Whatever it is, commit to it. Do it consistently, even on days when you don't feel like it. Because the consistency you build today will pay off tomorrow, and the life you're building will be one of purpose, meaning, and success. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you thought about doing something important, but you hesitated? Maybe it was a new career path, starting a business, or finally going after that big dream. And instead of taking immediate action, you told yourself, I'll wait for the right moment. The conditions aren't perfect yet. We all do it. We wait for the stars to align, for everything to be just right before we take action. We think there's a perfect moment coming, a time when everything will fall into place, and then we'll be ready to take that leap. But let me tell you something, the perfect moment does not exist. If you're waiting for everything to be ideal, you're going to wait forever. The truth is, the best time to act is right now. Waiting for the perfect conditions only keeps you stuck, and the longer you wait, the further you get from your goals. Today, I want to share with you why waiting is a trap, why perfection is an illusion, and how taking immediate action is the only way to move forward. I've heard countless people say, I'll start when I feel ready, but what they don't realize is that readiness doesn't come from waiting. Readiness comes from doing. Perfection is a myth. There is no perfect time to start anything. There's always going to be uncertainty. There will always be challenges. But that's part of the process. In fact, the pursuit of perfection can be paralyzing. It can stop you from taking any action at all. You'll spend so much time analyzing every detail, trying to get everything just right, that you'll never actually move forward. And the longer you wait, the more time you lose. When you delay action, you're not just waiting for a better time. You're making a choice. You're choosing to let fear, doubt, and uncertainty hold you back. You're choosing to remain in your comfort zone instead of stepping into the unknown, where growth and opportunity lie. Think about it. Every time you delay, you're postponing your progress. You're pushing your dreams further away. And the more you wait, the more you convince yourself that tomorrow will be a better day to start. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes. Today is the only day you have, and today is when you need to act. Let me share a story with you about a man named Steve. Steve always dreamed of becoming a writer, but he never seemed to find the time. He had an idea for a book that he was passionate about, but he kept telling himself, I'll start writing when I have more time. He waited for the perfect moment, when his life would be less chaotic, when he could focus without distractions. But that moment never came. Years went by, and Steve's dream of writing a book remained just that, a dream. One day, a friend asked him how his book was coming along. Steve realized something important in that moment. He had been waiting for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment had never arrived. So Steve made a decision. He started writing. Every morning before his job, before his busy life, he would write for just 30 minutes. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't glamorous, but it was progress. And over time, those small writing sessions added up. And eventually, Steve completed his book. The lesson here? You don't need the perfect conditions to start. You need the courage to start now. Here's the secret: imperfect action is better than no action at all. When you take action, even if it's messy or imperfect, you learn. You gain experience, you adjust along the way, and with every step you get closer to your goal. Perfection will only hold you back. Progress will move you forward. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never get started. But if you start imperfectly, you can improve as you go. Don't let fear of failure keep you stuck. Failure is not the end, it's the lesson. Every failure teaches you something valuable, and each lesson takes you one step closer to success. Taking action, no matter how small, creates momentum. Momentum is a powerful force that propels you forward, even when things get tough. When you take that first step, you create a snowball effect. The more you do, the more you'll want to do. The more progress you make, the more motivated you'll become. And before you know it, you've created a pattern of success. Momentum is the key to breaking through inertia. It's what keeps you going when things get hard. And it all starts with one decision, the decision to act now. Another reason why people wait is overthinking. We get caught up in the details, wondering if we're making the right decision, if we're making the right move, or if we're going to fail. And the more we think, the more we talk ourselves out of action. But here's the truth: overthinking is the enemy of action. It's like sitting in your car, engine running, and wondering if you should drive, but you never put the car in gear. The longer you sit there, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of moving. The key is to act, and then adjust as you go. Don't wait for everything to be clear. Sometimes you just have to take the leap and trust that the steps will reveal themselves as you move forward. What you can do right now. So what can you do right now? What action can you take today that will get you closer to your dreams? 1. Start small. You don't have to do everything at once. Begin with one small step and build from there. 2. Set a deadline. Commit to doing something by the end of today, this week, or this month. 3. Stop waiting for perfection. Embrace imperfection and take action in spite of uncertainty. 4. Eliminate distractions. Focus on what matters most and stop waiting for the perfect time. Remember, the longer you wait, the further away your goals get. Now is the time to act. The perfect moment will never come. There will never be a day when everything aligns perfectly. But there is something you can control: your decision to act. So don't wait. Don't put it off. Don't tell yourself that someday you'll start. Start today. Take that first step, no matter how small, and begin building the life you were meant to live. As we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with this powerful thought: your life is yours to create. The decisions you make, the actions you take, and the steps you choose to follow, all of it is within your control. And that's both a blessing and a responsibility. We've talked about the power of time, how every moment matters, how failure isn't the end, but the beginning of something new. We've explored how consistency, discipline, and action are the building blocks of success. But let's bring it all together. At the end of the day, there's one truth you must understand: you are responsible for your life, taking full responsibility. It's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even life itself for where we are. It's easy to look around and say, I could have had a better life if only I had the right opportunities, but that mindset will keep you stuck in a cycle of frustration and powerlessness. Here's a truth I want you to remember: your circumstances do not define your potential. Your circumstances are just that, circumstances. They don't have to dictate your future unless you let them. And this is where responsibility comes in. You have the power to change your life, to shape your destiny, and to build a future that aligns with your deepest desires. But it starts with taking responsibility. Responsibility means acknowledging that you are the creator of your circumstances. It means saying, I am in charge of my future. I am the one who will make the change. It's about choosing to take ownership of your decisions and your actions. You are the architect of your life. You are the architect of your future. Your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions are the blueprints that will shape your life. You hold the pen, and with that pen, you can write the story of your life. But here's the thing: the story won't be written for you. You can't wait for someone else to do it. No one else will come along and make your dreams a reality. It's all up to you. This is a heavy truth, but it's also incredibly empowering. When you realize that you have the power to create your future, you no longer feel like a victim. You become a creator. And with that mindset, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Take action today. Now that you understand the importance of responsibility, let me encourage you to take action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for your circumstances to change. Start today. Whether it's a small step or a big leap, take responsibility now for the direction of your life. Maybe it's committing to that new habit, starting that project, or reaching out to someone for help. Whatever it is, take action. Every step you take puts you closer to your dreams, and every moment of action compounds into the future you're creating. The choice is yours. As you walk away from this message, remember your life is your responsibility. It is yours to create. You have the power to make today the first day of a new beginning, the first day of a new chapter. Will you take that responsibility seriously? Will you choose to act and build the life you deserve? The choice is yours. The time is now. Don't wait any longer. Take responsibility for your life and start building your future today. Final thoughts. So in closing, let me remind you of the key points we've covered today. This is your life, and it's time to take control. No more waiting. No more excuses. It's time to act. The future you want is waiting, but it's up to you to go out and create it. So go ahead. Take that first step. Your life is in your hands. Now make it count.